Good morning. It's 7 o'clock on the next morning. So we are going to start episode 2 of Planting Out the Garden 2023. If you didn't see episode 1, pop back and take a peek at that one. And we are going to get started real early this morning so I can try to beat the heat. And this is what we look like so far. Very nice, cool, 46 degrees. Perfect. Well, let's get started. This is the bed that had the volunteer potatoes. So I just dug all of them up and I'm going to put the green bean seeds in here. I wanted to get this done now because I want to get the seeds watered because it'll only take a couple of days really. 2 or 3 days for them to germinate them, and the zucchini I'll get those into next. That way I can just start getting them watered. So here we go. Okay, so I just dug 2 trenches about 2 inches deep along the whole beds. Last year in the other bed, I think they were right here, I did them in this direction and it was fine, but I think this will be easier to harvest, much easier to get to them. So I dug the trenches and I went through, these seeds are kind of like purplish. This is a provider bean, so it's a bush bean. I prefer the bush beans just because they come on quick. And then you harvest, and then they're done. I don't have any room for pole beans. I have nothing to put them up on, and I just don't want to deal with that. So I put them about 3 inches apart. I usually overseed my green beans, but I'm going to try not to this year. So maybe everybody has a chance here. Because I think some people say putting 2 seeds in one spot. I don't have time to go through and take out extra seedlings. I really just don't have time to thin stuff out. So I'll just leave them. What comes up, comes up. Usually people put a couple seeds in. Yeah, I'm just not going to do that this year. So I like to put all the rows in and then put the seeds down. So that way if I have to move anything, it makes it easy on myself because I can just move the stuff. If I cover it with dirt, then I can't move it. I don't know where it is. So here they are, and I'm going to cover them and water them in really well. So the green beans are watered in, and now I'm going to throw some zucchini and some yellow squash in here. And my acorn squash I did start from seed earlier, so I have a few plants. And they're going to go in this bed. They're going to get very, very, very big, so be aware. So here's the acorn squash. I ended up putting 5 plants in. This is a winter squash, so it's going to take quite a bit longer, into September, potentially October, for them to really ripen up. And here's the yellow squash, the yellow zucchini, and then the green zucchini. So now I'm trying to figure out what I want to plant next, because I want to maybe get the hot stuff in, like the peppers. Ooh, the bugs are coming out in full force and I can't find my bug spray. So I'm going to get the peppers and the eggplants in. Plus, I'm not sure if I need to maybe pick up some more plants. I try to grow as much as I can from seed, but some things work, some things don't work. So maybe we'll go to the store after we plant everything out, see if I have any room to plant anything else. Woo! So we have the eggplant in. We have 1 banana pepper plant. I don't eat a ton of banana, well, I don't eat any banana peppers, but I still like to grow some every year. Someone will eat them. 3 jalapenos, and the rest here, what was there? 12 bell peppers. They're called Keystone pepper. They are pretty small, so I do have this section here, so I may grab some bigger plants at the store, just because I can. So when you're growing peppers, you grow them a little bit closer together because they refer to it as they're holding hands. So peppers like to hold hands with each other. They like their leaves touching because the fruit is so heavy and the plants are predominantly so small that they tend to tip over. So if they have their friends standing next to them, they can kind of lean on each other, right? Makes sense. I did water in the potatoes too while I was at it. Give them a good soaking. And it is already getting warm. So my job here is going to be watering. So, what's next? I guess we're on to these last two beds, it looks like. And I'm just taking my time. I put all the chickens together yesterday and they did pretty well, so a couple of the little babies tried to go into the big girl's coop and they were not having that. We got some time. We'll get them in before winter. So we'll check them out in a minute. It's starting to get hot again, but all right, I'm just gonna take my time and really think about where I want all these plants to be. You want to see something funny? My red romaine lettuce obviously went to seed and now it's growing up in my walkway. And I found, where is it? This is a regular romaine lettuce. It's just growing. Isn't that funny? Oh, Mother Nature. So the Brussels sprouts are in, and I put red cabbage here. They are really close together. I know this. I'm sure I'm probably going to regret it, but oh, there's an ant on my camera. And I have a lot of leftover plants, so I'm just like, oh. I hate discarding seedlings. I absolutely hate it. So I'm sitting here racking my brain trying to figure out what I can do with these plants. I mean, I have friends that could probably use, some people don't use them, but some people don't really care for Brussels sprouts or a whole bunch of cabbage. But then I got thinking, I still have a mound of that garden soil left, and I have a bunch of pots, big pots from my fruit trees, right? I still have space along the edge of my garden where all this crap is growing that I have to tear out, these weeds, and there's grass growing on the other side. So I thought to myself, why don't you just fill the pots up with the garden soil and just plant the plants? If they do well, they do well. If they don't, they don't. I really did more seedlings of like the Brussels, like this, the brassica kind of stuff, because the chickens just love it. So if I have 8 heads of cabbage, I'm not gonna eat 8 heads of cabbage, but I can cut it off and I can throw it to the chickens, right? And then they can have fresh vegetables. I mean, bougie, right? So I think I'm gonna do that. So we've got the cauliflower in, the broccoli in, and I gotta put a stake there. I put 1 white cabbage right here. It's interesting how quickly space just consumes plants. I have so many leftover plants, right? Didn't it look like I virtually had nothing? I had, what, 4 flats? That's not a lot of plants. But putting them out and spacing them, I space them a little closer than they probably should, but and really all I would have left is maybe I might buy a couple pepper plants to put in here to fill this in. I put 2 white cabbages here on the ends. They'll grow really big. Cabbage seems to grow really well here, so, which is fine. Like I said, I will grow extra stuff and I'll give it to the chickens. Or if I let it grow really, really big, the chickens are gonna come here in September. I'm gonna put the snow fence back up and let them come in here, and they just have the absolute time of their lives in there. So I did find some buckets. Look at this. This is what us gardening hoarders do. You save your buckets. You save all your buckets. You buy a tree, you save the bucket. You buy a plant, you save the container. You just save everything because you will at some point use it. Sorry, husbands, but that's the reality of life. So anyway, I have, like, this was from our big, huge, giant cherry tree. These were from the other apple trees and the pear tree. So, I mean, this I've had a couple years. Actually, I think this was from one of the apple trees that we planted 4 years ago. So why not? Why not use them? I have a few tomato plants left. I didn't even get a chance to, ooh, the bugs. I didn't even have a chance to plant my kohlrabi. I have the cabbage left and a couple Brussels sprouts. I mean, why waste a plant? That's just like murder. Some people are like, ditch it. Like when I plant my onions, I'm like, I mean, maybe I can save them. Maybe I can do something. I'm like, I just chuck them. So that's really funny. So I'm gonna get digging, because here's the rest of the garden soil that my husband really wish would, like, poof, disappear. So I'm gonna make it disappear here shortly, and I'll fill in some holes for him anyways because he wants some of that done. And actually it's perfect timing because it's 10 o'clock and it's starting to get really, really hot. So I am gonna conclude episode 2 with that. But before we go, we're gonna check out the chickens quick, okay? Because, oh, I gotta go in the right side because I forgot to show you. We gotta check on the chickens. And, oh, something else too, totally forgot. Tomorrow night, today's Saturday, so Sunday night, the incubator is going to go in lockdown. You know what that means? We're gonna get baby chicks soon. Oh, I'm so excited. So here is everybody. I just rolled up the fence and put it up there. So if there's a problem, I can still just roll it back up and separate everyone and it's fine. But for the most part, everybody's been getting along really well. Oh, what did Daddy bring you? Oh, you're okay. Daddy brought you some grass. As you can hear, he's mowing the lawn in the background. The babies love the old Christmas tree. And, well, you know, the big girls just like to eat. They're just eating and eating and eating. These girls are scared to death. But, I mean, they have a ton more space now. I don't know, I'm a chicken mama. I want my chickies to have enough space. I mean, right? Oh, you're fine. And we have 3 roosters. Anyway, so stay tuned for episode 3. And as always, from my coop to yours, thank you for growing with me so I can grow with you.